All right, so it's the end of the year and you're not feeling very productive. Rob, can peace help your productivity?
I need it right now, Cheryl.
All right, we're going to talk about it. You're at the right episode. You got here at just the right time. It's a beautiful thing. So this is Network Today, where we take you from meeting people to
Making money.
faster. And I'm Sheryl Powers.
I'm Rob Bliss.
All right, we're going to get right to it because this is all about peace. So I thought this was really an interesting topic because you don't really equate peace to networking. Do you? Maybe you do.
No, I've never have, but it caught my attention right away. So yes, go on.
Well, I was thinking,
I'm listening.
I was doing some research on this. The power of peace is really big. I mean, there were a lot of great articles about this. And I thought about the whole peace thing because we talk about it at Christmas time.
Sure. Absolutely.
So it's peace and good tidings, right?
Yes.
The Jewish holiday, Hanukkah, it's shalom. Well, shalom all the time, right? But it really is kind of prominent during this time. So peace, we say it all around us, but do we feel it inside?
Well, when I first read that, Cheryl, what brought to my attention right away was stress and anxiety.
So you went the total opposite.
I went the opposite side. I went, oh my God. Bring on the peace,
Bring on the peace, buddy.
Yeah.
Bring on the peace. So I thought this was really fascinating because why do you need peace to be a better networker?
Well, number one, when you're stressed out, when you've got anxiety flowing through your body, there's just no way you're going to be productive.
No.
You won't want to be around people. You're not going to want to do any networking, really.
And you know what? If I don't see peace on you, I don't want to be around you. So I don't want your stuff to come off on me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is really important topic, and especially this time of year. And I like the connotation of peace within the networking holiday season because, again, it's the rat race out there during the holidays now, Cheryl. It really is kind of depressing. And I think it's important that we get in that peaceful state of mind.
That's right.
Let's bring Christmas back, Cheryl.
Let's bring Christmas back. So Christmas all year long. So
yes.
Peace is important, but I think we forget just how important it is in our life. So at the end of this, we're actually going to go through some action items, some steps to get the peace back in your life. Getting into the peace mode. I think one of the things that robs us of peace this time of year is getting so overwhelmed with business.
No, absolutely, because what it is, I think, is with what you're saying right there is we're not setting our priorities correctly.
That's right. So this LinkedIn article talks about getting into stimulating physical activities. So we're so overwhelmed with business activity, right? We've got Q4 reports, we've got taxes, we've got all these fun things, and then we've got a forecast into the next year, into 2024, as if 2023. I haven't even finished 2023 yet. So, but it's just a part of business, and regardless of whether you're an entrepreneur or a full-on business owner, but physical activity, finding fun things to do, like what do you do for fun?
Well, I play pickleball.
And
I do curling.
That's right. For me, I love to walk my dogs. I love to do our vegetable garden, right? That's a really big deal for me. I love to wash cars. That's a really weird thing.
I do too.
Gratification.
Absolutely.
So another thing is nature.
Yeah.
How often do you get out and see scenic views of nature?
Well, not very often, but this weekend we drove to Austin and once we got to Austin, drove around, South Austin, and what's so pretty down there, seeing the creeks, the hills, the trees.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. Once you could get past all the taillights.
Yeah.
Once you could get past that's true. And I have to hand it off to, remember George Mayfield,
yes.
George and Lauren. Mm-hmm. They used to do an actual networking group. So I would encourage somebody else to do this. I think he had to curtail it, but they had a networking group where they'd actually walk on Saturdays.
That was a great idea.
It was a great idea. And just enjoy nature and each other, and then have, over a bottle of water or your Gatorade, have a little networking chat.
Absolutely.
So music.
Oh, yes.
I'm big, the radio girl in me says I can't be without music. At all times, I must have music.
That's my Saturday morning. I get up early with my cup of coffee, grab my book, and then I turn my tunes on.
Your tunes. What are your tunes? What's your
It
what's your
depends.
go-to?
My go-to is, of course, it's my Amazon Music spot.
But genre?
The genre is probably soft rock.
Okay.
That's my go-to, soft rock. I love the 60s and 70s. It's kind of my go-to. Little Doobie Brothers, Jackson Brown,
Man,
Steely Dan.
that's gold, baby. That's gold.
Harry Chapin, Van Morrison. Yeah, that's Saturday mornings in my big old leather chair. Yes.
Getting into your peaceful place. So here's just a tip for those who don't know how to, like if you really like raucous music. I'm big on classical, love classical, and I love jazz. You can go to Amazon, I go to Pandora, and you can find 432. It is the frequency that was built before, that's what all the music was before World War II. And they started the 440 frequency to disrupt our minds. So I'm not going to go into that whole thing. But if you can get into a good frequency, it actually works with your body to give you peace.
Whoa.
So whole nother show on
the
World War II
there you go.
Terminator frequency. So number 4, humor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta laugh.
That's one of the things I do before I go to bed. I turn on my Netflix and do stand-up comedy, and I've got 2 or 3 go-to guys that great clean comedy, and just I'm laughing, rolling on the floor, and it's time to turn the lights out.
Us too. We've gotten into killing it.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No,
It's a 22-minute episode, and we're like, it is so funny. But yes, humor, it's so important, and we lose it. I lose it really fast. Husband will go to it, and I'm like, I don't need to be happy now. I got too much to do to be happy. But I need to get to a peace place. So number 5, quiet time. That's important. I think that goes without saying. Rest. So rest with your eyes closed. Like they have to tell you that. Rest with your eyes closed. It is important to get rest, and we forget about that. So I thought this was 6 great tips on just getting into that peaceful place. Do you have anything to add to that list, sir?
Well, no, I think it's a great list. What I think I want to add, Sheryl, is just the fact that this is something that's so important that you need to do it.
Yes.
You need to plan for this. I think we get into this, again, this high anxiety, this chaotic way of lifestyle because we're just go, go, go all the time. It's time to put the brakes on. It's time to stop and do all the things you just said. But I really encourage everyone, do it. Spend the time to do this.
So, and put it on your calendar if you have to. So for me, I really like my quiet time in the morning. That's my time before husband gets up and starts, being a husband. Not bad. It's just that we're spouses, right? So before the day begins, I like that quiet time. That's really kind of my special time. And again, we have to put it on our calendar and be intentional about it. I wanted to just quickly touch on, I don't want to dive into this. Again, I could have whole episodes on cortisol versus serotonin and all this.
Dopamine.
But that's right. So, but I do think it's important to put a finger on why peace is so important physically. Why it's so, because when we don't have peace, when you said, I think of peace, I think of anxiety. I'm like, really? Only you, Rob. Only you. But it's because the anxiety actually builds up cortisol, and cortisol is what makes us anxious, and being anxious keeps us from having good relationships. Anxious, I'll tell you, that's one of the things from networking that I hear people say all the time. They're like, you know what? I sit in my car and I'm too anxious to go into the networking event.
Right.
And it's like, how many did you not show up? And I'm like, where are you, Joe? And they're like, I didn't want to go in. I turned around and left the parking lot because they were anxious.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of anxiety. That's a lot of cortisol.
Yeah.
So when we can remove that, then to your point, the serotonin, the dopamine, then take over. Those are the good feelings. So can we talk about 4 things to do? This is a really interesting article, and this came from Houston Methodist.
Okay.
So 4 hormones that promote happiness, very happiness, and it has a little drop down here. So I'm just going to touch on serotonin and dopamine because I thought these are really good. How to harness serotonin, getting serotonin back into your system, because the older we get, the more we lose these things. Being kind to others and yourself.
Good point.
Isn't that good? Spending time outdoors, we talked about that. Exercising,
Right.
eating a well-balanced diet. This can absolutely rob us of peace.
Well, all the 4 things that you just said there is the fact that we're neglecting. I mean, 90% of the population out there is neglecting those things. We have got to kind of get our act together here.
Yes, and those 4 things also apply to the dopamine. I think the endorphin is different, right? It's
Right.
a high level,
Yeah.
higher level. But if you want to really get into that countenance of, I love to be around people who are peaceful. Like they just make me feel like I want to be more peaceful. Like they set the bar. All of a sudden I'm reminded that's what peace looks like.
Yeah.
Not me, not what I look,
Right.
not my. I think another thing, especially in big cities like DFW, especially big cities where you have a ton of people moving in, is the traffic. Oh my gosh. If you want to see angry Brett Powers, angry Mr. Powers, he's like the goofy that comes out with the fangs. I mean, truly, you never know that he's the most easygoing, peaceful, happy guy until he gets behind the wheel. So those are just some of the things that rob us of peace. It's hilarious.
God,
Well,
wow.
It's not funny. But it's funny now.
Right. There you go.
Not funny when it's happening. So anyway, hey, here we are. We're laughing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Absolutely. There you go.
So it's helping, but I really want to be. I want this to be a priority for me when I get into next year. Let thankfulness, which we talked about last week,
Right.
move me into a greater place of peace, serenity, gratification.
I mean, those are all good things, and I think we all need to be there. And I think I have worked hard this year, creating my quiet place, my quiet space. Closing my eyes, resting, all the things that you were describing to us. I am doing those things, and it's made a big, big difference. It's what we talked again last week about gratitude and being proactive, and that we have that choice to choose to be happy.
Yeah, it is a choice.
And so it's just so important, and you've got to take the time to do it, though, and that's the big thing, Sheryl.
Yes. Okay. Let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Because we want to get to a place of peace fast.
Yes.
What are your action items?
Well, my actions again, it's all about being prepared. Set up a game plan. Write these things down. That the notes that we're going to take from you is write those things down. Take the time. Be intentional about it so you can make it happen.
Yeah. That's a good one. I'm going to say this is very tactical, but remove the electronics. So I went through sleep disorder school. There's a whole nother episode, right? Yeah. I paid way too much for it. So you listen. When you're writing you're like listening.
Right.
So here's one of the things I learned. Get the electronics out of the room. That means not even a phone. And if you have to have the phone for your little alarm clock, move it across the room. But those EMFs disrupt our mental system.
Wow.
And
yeah,
so we wake up tired and not very peaceful. And write out your list of to-dos. That was on mine as well, and time block. And call somebody you haven't talked to in a while.
Yeah.
That makes me peaceful.
So,
I got to go to Houston tomorrow, and it's 4 hours each way, so that's 8 hours on the road. I have my whole list of all the people that I'm like, I just need to call them.
Yeah.
Leave them a voicemail. I just haven't talked to them in a long time.
Just
No
remember
excuse.
to bring your car charger so you don't.
That's right.
You can't,
And it's all voice dialing.
There you go. There you go.
Hands-free, hands-free, baby.
I'm going to call you in the morning. Cheryl, back your car charger.
That's right. Hands-free. So this is good. I like talking about peace at a time where
I
we
do.
need more.
This is perfect timing for it.
All right. So
All right.
cheers to peace, my friend.
Peace to you.
And this is Network Today, where we take you from meeting people to
Making money.
faster. And we'll see you next week.